Welcome to Booze on the Rocks. My name is David Edwards and it's great to have you here today. We're going to make the Nuts and Berries cocktail. Now this is one of those 1970s dessert cocktails that kind of fell out of fashion, but it's coming back a little bit. In fact, it was mentioned in one of my recent videos in a comment, and a lot of people seem to really take to that idea, so I'm going to make it for everybody. Now there's only 3 ingredients, and those are kind of interesting. You need a hazelnut liqueur. Now I am using a little bit of Frangelico. Now if you can't get Frangelico or a hazelnut liqueur, try something like a walnut liqueur, whatever kind of nut liqueur that you think would go well with the rest of these ingredients. The next thing you need is sort of a raspberry liqueur. Now I'm using Chambord, which is a black raspberry liqueur, and most places when you look online will actually show you this in the most obnoxious bottle to put on a shelf because it takes up so much space. The next thing you need is a little bit of cream. Now I'm using a heavy cream. This is a 33% heavy cream. You could also use a half and half or milk depending upon the type and consistency you want for this cocktail. And if you don't have half and half where you live, take 50% of a heavy cream and 50% of milk, put them together, and that'll give you your half and half. Now, this is a fantastically simple cocktail. We're gonna build this in the glass. This is a 10-ounce rocks glass, which is 300 mils. And we're going to start by throwing a little bit of ice in here. And you basically want to fill your glass up most of the way. And I air quote that. And we're going to start with your Frangelico. Now, the Frangelico ratio is simple. It's exactly the same as the raspberry at 1 ounce or 30 mils. Your second ingredient is your raspberry liqueur. What I'd like you to do is leave a comment down below on which of these ingredients you might change to get the cocktail version that you would like most. Also, let me know what you have based on the location where you live. So as I said, you're going to use 1 ounce or 30 mils. And of course, your third ingredient is your cream. Now, when you look online, you'll see a few variations on the amount of cream that you add. Some will say 1, some will say 3, and some will say 2. So I'm hitting in the center at 2, and you're just going to use the 2 ounces or 60 milliliters and slowly pour that on top. Now, if you're using a half and a half or a milk, you're actually going to get this to sink down more naturally on its own. However, we are going to give this just a bit of a stir to mix that because we want to incorporate everything. You can throw a garnish into there if you want, but who cares? Visually, you have a nice light, slight pinkish brown color, and it's a nice consistency. 7 out of 10. But that flavor is a 9 out of 10. Oh yeah, the raspberry and the Frangelico are easily mixed, and like one is not overpowering the other. The cream is perfect on your mouth, and oh yeah, that's really, really good. Now if you like cocktails like this, take a look after the recipe card right over here.